After analyzing hundreds of Shopify homepages, I've noticed that most e-commerce brand owners make the same mistakes. Either their homepage is too cluttered and lacks trust, or it doesn't lead their visitors toward making a purchase. But the best homepages all answer 4 key questions. First, what do you sell? Second, what makes your brand special? Third, why they should be trusting your brand? And fourth, why they should be buying your products. So today I'm going to walk you through my simple framework, and I like to call it the S.T.A.R framework, and it will help you to create a highly converting Shopify homepage. So let's start. And by the way, I will not only show you the philosophy behind creating a highly converting homepage, I will also go to Shopify and show you how to implement everything that you have learned in this video. So make sure to watch this video up until the end. As I told you, I call this work frame the S.T.A.R frame. So let's start with the S. And the S stands for showcase what you sell. The first thing your homepage should ever do is to make it immediately clear what you sell. When someone lands on your homepage, they should be able to figure within seconds what type of products you are selling. Because if they have to guess, they will leave. When you are structuring your homepage, there are some sections that will help you to clearly showcase your products. And you need to start by the first one and the most important one, and it is the hero slideshow. In there you can put one image or multiple images that showcase the products that you sell. In addition to the image, you need to have a headline and a subheadline that clearly explain what your brand stands for and what type of products your customers should expect to find on your store. Then you have to match it with a clear call to action like shop now. If you sell fashion, for example, you might have 2 call to actions, for example, shop woman, shop man, but usually it's 1 call to action, which is shop now. Or if you have, for example, let's say 3 main collections, you can have 3 different slideshows showing your 3 main collections, and each of the images will be leading to this special main collection. In addition to the hero section, the second thing that I recommend you to have is to have a section that showcases your product bestsellers and your main collections and even your sub-collections. It really depends on your niche and how many sub-collections and collections you might have. But listing them within your homepage will greatly help your store visitors to figure out what do you sell. For sure, your navigation menu plays a very big role to showcase your catalog, but also you need to back it up by showcasing your collections and sub-collections within your homepage. Now moving to the second letter of the work frame, which is the T. Tell them what makes your brand special and unique. Now that your store visitors know exactly what you sell, your next job is to tell them why they should be buying your product, what makes your products and your brand unique and different, why they should be choosing you over every other brand in the market. And in order to do that, there are some special sections that you should be adding to your store homepage. Starting first by a section that showcases your brand unique selling propositions. If you don't know what unique selling propositions mean, it's simply what makes your brand different and better than any other brand in the market. So you need to think about 3 or 4 things that set your brand apart and list them on your homepage. This is super important to be showcased within your homepage. The second section that you add is a section that lists your product main benefits. You can use icons or infographics to show your benefits. Usually people like this type of visuals. The third section I recommend you to add, and it's in my opinion the most important section in there, and it's a section that talks about your brand story and your brand vision. You can add a small paragraph talking about the brand with a call to action button that leads your store visitors toward your full story page, where you talk about your brand, why did you start it, your vision, what you are trying to achieve, and so on. Now moving to the next letter of the framework, and it is the A. Assure visitors with trust signals. Trust is one of the biggest reasons why someone might not be buying from your online store. If your homepage don't show enough trust signals, it's very hard to convince potential customers to buy from you and make a purchase. That's why you need to make sure that your homepage is showing your brand as a brand that's legit, safe, and reliable. And in order to do that, there are several sections that you should be including in there. First, for sure, a section that shows your customers' testimonials and reviews. You can have written testimonials, you can have some photos in there to show that other people have actually bought your products and they have liked them. The second section that you can add is press features and awards. Sure, if this is applicable for your brand. This section is usually super important, especially if you are in fashion or if you are selling something that's a little bit fancy. So including this section is super important in this case. The third thing that you can add is a section where you show UGC content from other people who have used your products and experienced the real benefits of your product. UGC are usually very authentic and people love them and trust them. Now, the final thing that you should be focusing on is to reinforce everything that you have done with social proof and incentives. Now that your homepage clearly shows what you sell, what makes your brand different, and why should people trust you, the last thing that you should be doing is to give your store visitors a little push to make a purchase decision. And this can be done through urgency, incentives, and reinforcement of value. The sections that can help you do that are sections, for example, that show limited time offers or discounts, or sections that show your bestsellers and your featured collections, or sections that show your, for example, money back guarantee policy or your risk-free guarantee policy, and so on. All of these sections will play the role of the last push toward purchase. Now that you know the framework I use to create a highly converting homepage, let's move to Shopify and let's start creating this homepage together. So now I'm going to show you how to apply everything that you have learned so far within Shopify and how you can create this layout for your homepage. I will use the Dawn theme as an example in here to apply everything that we have learned, but if you are using a professional theme that's different than the Dawn theme, I can assure you that your section would look better, and most probably they will have more options and they will be more customizable. But for the sake of example, I'm going to use the Dawn theme to show you that everything that you have learned can be applied even if you are using a free theme like the Dawn one. Okay, so from your Shopify dashboard, I need you to go to Customize. And from here, we are going to update the homepage. I'm not going to discuss how to update your theme settings because this is not the topic of this video. But if you want to know more about how to set up your theme settings, there is this video on this YouTube channel where I talk in details about this topic. Okay, so for now, we are going to build up our homepage. And as I said before, the first thing that you should ever start with is your hero section. Okay, in here, either you decide to have an image with a call to action, a headline, and a subheadline, or you can decide to have multiple images, so a slideshow. It really depends on your business. I usually prefer to keep things simple and to have only like one banner, one image. But if you have like special sections, like for example, woman, man, or if you sell, for example, bags and just t-shirts, and you want to show this directly within your homepage, you can have different images. There is nothing wrong with using a slideshow, okay? So in here, this section in the Dawn theme, it's an image banner, so it's not a slideshow. In some themes, it's the same thing. So the slideshow can work exactly like an image banner, and like every slideshow is basically an image banner. On Dawn, it seems like they have two types of sections. Let's click on Add Sections, and let's try to find a slideshow. So as you can see, this is my slideshow. I will move it up and put it in here. Okay, and I will remove this section. So this is going to be my slideshow. When you click in here, you are going to modify the main settings of the section. You're not modifying each slideshow, you're modifying the settings of the full slideshow. So when you click, you can see, for example, we have the layout. Do you want it to be full width or grid? So if you want it to be grid, I think they will be dividing it like the image in two. Let's try it out. Then you have the slide height. I usually like to keep it small. I like my slideshow to be minimal, but it really depends on you and on your images. Okay, in here you have like the pagination. Do you want it to be like this? Or if you want to change it to dots or numbers. I like dots, but again, these options will be different depending on the theme you are using. Okay, and I will choose to auto-rotate slides. So in this way, like the slides will be auto-rotating even if someone didn't like go to the next slide. Okay, in here like you have some animation. I will do this one, and you can like in here decide how you are going to show this on mobile. We are going to get back to this once we set up the slideshow, so you can have a better idea about what I'm talking about. Okay, let me go back now. In here, as you can see, I have two images within the slideshow, but I can definitely add more by clicking plus. When you click on image slideshow, you will be modifying every slideshow or every image in your slideshow, every element within your slideshow. Okay, so the first thing that you are going to do is to select your main image. And in here, I highly recommend you to show an image that reflects what you sell. Again, we are creating this section to make it easier for your store visitors to understand what do you sell and what do you offer. So you can showcase your products or someone using your product, something super clear that directly and immediately helps your store visitors to understand. Okay, I'm going to click on select. I'm not sure what kind of images do I have in here, but let's, for example, go with this one. Okay, so this is a store that sells yoga outfits. So this image is basically super clear. It shows directly what do I do. I can choose something else, but for now, just for the sake of example, I'm gonna keep this one in here. And as you can see in here, I have the heading and the subheading. And here is where you should be talking about what you sell clearly. So let's say, for example, if you sell makeup, natural makeup, here you tell them that your products are all natural makeup. Okay, so you tell them, for example, glow up with our natural 100% organic clean makeup. Okay, the message in here should be super clear and should directly reflect what you do. Don't be shy about it, just tell the word about you, be super clear. I'm gonna show you an example to get inspired. If you go to the Mudwater website, you can see directly their headline and you can directly see their subheading. Okay, so they have a very clear heading, a subheading, and a clear call to action inviting people to take the action and go and check the products. Okay, and this is literally what you need to have in there. Okay, if you don't have any idea about what to put as headline and subheadline, we now have ChatGPT and AI to help you with this. So just go to ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT about your brand, about what do you do, maybe copy and paste your About Us page in there, talk a little bit about your products, and ChatGPT will be giving you some very good ideas about headlines and subheadlines to use. You just need to enter them in here, like if we go back to our slide, you just need to put them in here and that's it. And this is the button label, so in here it would be shop now, for example, and below it, for sure, you need to put the link, so where you are inviting your customers to go. And this will also depend on what you sell. If, for example, you only sell 5 products, maybe you will lead them directly to a page where you show them the 5 products. If you have a lot of collections, you would need them, for example, to go to pages where you showcase your sub-collections. Let me show you an example as well. So, for example, this is a store where we sell pets, accessories, and pets products. And as you can see in the first slideshow in here, we have an image with a very clear heading and a subheading, and shop dog or shop cat. So we have 2 different call to actions. Again, I gave you the example of fashion. Maybe you would put, for example, shop woman, shop man. So it depends. Adding 2 buttons, I don't think this is something doable in Dawn theme, but in most professional themes, this is something doable. If you go, for example, to our next slideshow, you will see a different image with a different heading and subheading. And in here, we are showcasing different collections. Again, same in here. Now, what I wanted to show you exactly was if you go in here to the first slide and you click, for example, on Shop Dog, you will see that when you go in here, instead of going to a collection of products, you go to a page where we are showcasing all of our sub-collections. Why we needed to do that? Because this is a store with a very large catalog, so it's very difficult to lead people directly to a full dogs collection. It's actually doable, but it's not that practical. So instead of leading them to a page where we are listing 1,000 products, what we have done is we have led them to a page where we are showcasing our sub-collections, our dog sub-collections. So as you can see in here, they will land on this page, and from there, they will take the next action and go to the sub-collection or to the products they want to explore. Okay, again, if you go back, for example, one more time, and you click on Shop Cats, you will see the same thing. So it really depends on your business and how big your catalog is and how you divided your products into collections and sub-collections. The most important thing to keep in mind is that you need to make it super clear. So you need to provide the clearest way for your customers to find your products. In our case, in this store, for example, we had a lot of products. We have a very large catalog. So we decided, instead of leading them to a collection page, to lead them to a page where we are listing our sub-collections. But if we are only selling, for example, 3 or 4 products, or maybe 1 product, we might directly lead them to the collection page itself where we are showcasing and listing all the products. So going back in here, after you set up this, we need to talk a little bit about the layout. And as you can see, in here we have the location or where we are going to place the text. And this depends on the image that you have used in here. Okay, I usually recommend my clients when they are doing the photo shooting for these sections especially to always use images where we have like some clean spaces to put the text so it's legible and people can read it easily. Okay, so in here we have it in middle center. You can have it on the left if you wish. It's either on the left or in the center. You can put it on the right, but it's not so recommended. It's better to have it on the left or in the center because this is how we read. Okay, so you choose the location from here, and here you choose the alignment. So do you want the text to be centered or left? So if I choose left, for example, all the text will be left. And in here you define the overlay opacity. So you can have an overlay over your images to have like a small tint in order to make your text more legible. And here you define it. Why this is in here is not super important, because actually in here we have a text box. As you can see, the text is like there is a background behind the text. So actually the image overlay opacity is not super important, but in so many cases it's going to be important if you are not basically using this container in here. Okay, and in here you have the color scheme, so how you want this text to, the colors of the text to be. Again, I'm not going to talk a lot about color schemes because this is a topic related to the theme settings and how to set these up. So this is not the topic of this video. And in here you have the mobile content alignment. Do you want it to be center, left, or right? On mobile, I usually recommend always to put everything center. Okay, you can always have it left, it's not the end of the world, but center usually looks better. Now, if you want to turn off this container in here, you go in here and you turn it off. In this case, for example, the image overlay opacity will start to make sense because you want the text to pop up. So the overlay in here is black, but the text is also black, so it's not that legible. In this case, I would make, for example, the overlap maybe white, so the text will look better, and so on. Okay, again, when you go in here to the heading, you can make it bold. Okay, and you can even change the size of the heading. The most important thing is to make sure that your text contrasts well and that your store visitors can easily read it. Okay. So once you finish with this slideshow, you need to set up the second slideshow and the third slideshow in the same way. Okay, once this is done, you are finished with your hero section. And again, this is a very important section that you must put time and effort into designing, okay? So showcase your products, add heading and subheadings that make sense and that showcase what you sell clearly and easily. When you are finished with this section, you move on to the next section on your homepage. And in here, you can decide whether you want to show a section directly related to products and collections, or you want to show some social proof and some branding. Usually in here, I like to add a section that builds trust because I've already talked about the products in here and on the navigation menu. So I think this is the right time to talk a little bit about the brand. So in here, you can add a section like, for example, your unique selling propositions, or for example, a scene and stuff like that. Let me show you two examples. So if you go to Madwater, for example, you can see this section in here, and this is a section where they are showing like websites where the brand was mentioned. So this is something that you can do if this is applicable for you for sure. And if you go to this store, for example, and you scroll down, you will notice that, for example, we have this section where we show the unique selling propositions of our products. So I like to add one of these sections depending on what works best or what's applicable for the brand. In order to add a section like this one within the Dawn theme, I think there is a section called logo. Let's say if they have a section called logo list, they don't have it, but usually most themes have a section called logo list where you can list all of your logos. For the Dawn theme, I think we can use the multi-column section in here. Let's see. If this one, yeah, it allows images. So what you can basically do is to remove all the text and to add your logos as images in here. So you select and you add the images. Okay, so that's where like you see a difference between a paid theme and a free theme. Like in the Dawn, for example, we don't have the logo list option, but in most themes we have it. Let me look again in here to see if there is any other section that might play the same role. Not really. So I will go with the multi-column section. I'm gonna actually go and remove all of these. Let me start first by this. And I will go in here and select an image. I don't have anything that's applicable, but let's say this one. And I will go back and I will simply duplicate it. So let's see if this is something we can do. Yes, let me duplicate. And I will click duplicate one more time and one more time. Okay, my purpose is to make them smaller because now they are so big. So I will go back in here and I will go to the section itself, see if I can make this, for example, 6 or let's say 5. So I will duplicate this as well. And for sure, you need to replace these by your unique selling propositions. Let me see if I can, for example, make the images in here smaller. So like this, not bad. But we need them to be centered, so they are now centered. And basically that's it, okay? On mobile, we can choose between choosing 1 column or 2 columns. So if we go back in here to mobile, now we are seeing, for example, them like this. If we choose 2 columns, we will see them next to each other. Okay, by the way, for this one, we talked about like the mobile view. As you can see now, the text is below the hero image because this is something that we have chosen in here, the mobile layout. If you uncheck this one, you will have it like this. Again, always double check to make sure that everything on mobile looks very good. So after building up these 2 sections, let me move this up. It doesn't look very nice because the images in here doesn't make sense, but for sure, we can easily design something similar to this one, okay? By adding your unique selling propositions, a nice headline and a nice sub-headline. Okay, once this is done, you need to add, for example, a section that showcases your bestsellers. And this is actually a very simple section. And for this section, you just need to create a collection that you call it bestseller, where you put your bestseller products and you feature this collection within your homepage. So for example, in the Dawn theme, there is this type of sections, which is called featured collection. And as you can see in here, you can choose one of your collections and show it in here. This is the title. Instead of putting featured products, we can put bestsellers, for example. We can keep the headline small if we want. We can add even a description, and we can choose what collection to show in here. So basically what you need to do is to replace this one with your bestsellers collection if you have a bestsellers collection, let's say like this. And then here you decide how many products you want to show. I usually on the bestseller collection like to show 4 to 5 products, nothing more on the homepage. I think it's even more than enough. So I'm gonna show 4 products. Number of columns on desktop, so how many columns you want them to be, for sure 4 or 5. It depends on how many products you have included in here. And in here you can like change a little bit regarding the layout, make products full width, and in here add a view all button. If your bestseller collection have more than these 4 products and you want to show them, you need to have a button that leads people toward these products. Okay, and in here you change the colors. The product card section is this section where you basically change how your product is showing within your homepage. Again, if you want to know more about like these specific things, I highly recommend you to check this tutorial on this YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I go deep into the theme customization, small tricks and details. So if you are not familiar at all with this video is going to greatly help you. Okay, but basically what you do in here is you change how your products are showing, how your product cards, this is what we call product card, and basically you're changing how this product card is going to look. Okay, again, you can change the mobile layout and play around a little bit here with the settings to make it look exactly the way you want it to look. Now, after this, we can, for example, add a section showing our brand story. So for this section, I like to use an image with text section. And again, it's available on all Shopify themes, I'm pretty sure. So let's put image with text. So this is, for example, an image with text. What you need to do in here is to put an image talking about your brand, for example, and in here you add a subheading and like headline talking also about the brand, and a call to action that leads people toward an About Us page where they get to know more about your brand. This is extremely important to tell the world more about your brand, to create this connection with your audience, to tell them about what makes your brand unique, what makes your mission unique, and why they should be choosing your brand and your products. Okay, so put some time and effort into doing something like this, and I'm going to show you an example. So in this store, for example, if you scroll down after listing all of our products, you can see that we have a section dedicated for the brand. So here we are talking first about the brand and the brand mission, and they can click on About Us to know the story. And in here we talk about the founder, who is a very famous influencer. So if they click in here, they read about her. So as you can see, we have dedicated a full section on our homepage to talk about the brand and the founder. And this is something that you should be doing. This is extremely important, and it creates a better like relationship, a better connection with your store visitors. It tells them more about your brand and why they should be actually buying from you. Okay, going back again in here. So setting up this section is super easy. You just need to select an image, and again in here you change the settings of the image. And from the text section in here, you add your heading, and you add your subheading, and you add your button with the link. Okay. The next thing that I want to show you how to set up is to add reviews or testimonials. It depends actually on how you are collecting reviews. If you are using an app like Stamp.io or Yotopo or any of these apps, they would have a widget that you can directly install within your homepage. So it will directly show in here. But if you are not using any of these sections, or if you want to enter the reviews manually, usually most of the themes have a section dedicated for reviews. Let's see if in down we have something like this. So let's go to reviews. It doesn't seem they have. Let me scroll to make sure. Yes, it doesn't seem that they have one. So in this case, either you need to use the multi-column one, like as an example to show the reviews. But again, usually in more professional themes, you will have a section dedicated for reviews. Or if you are using an app, you can directly embed the app widget within your homepage. So if we go back to our pet store example, as you can see in here, we have a section dedicated for reviews where we have listed the reviews with like the images even sometimes, okay? In this store, for example, instead of copying and pasting the testimonials, we have included the widget from the app, and it's now showing in here all the reviews. Okay, so it depends on how you are collecting reviews and how you want to show your reviews. Now with the same logic, you can continue at creating and building up your homepage. Every section that you add should be dedicated toward replying to one of the questions we have discussed at the beginning of this video. Every section you want to add should be enforcing the STAR frame, making sure that your customers know what you sell, why they should be buying from your brand, what makes your brand unique, and why they should be trusting you and choosing you between all the other brands in the market. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is how to add a section that lists all of your collections or sub-collections. In order to do that, you can use a section in here called collection list, where you can showcase your collections in here. So if you sell, for example, for cats, dogs, and birds, for example, you can show them in here. This is also a very good way to show the different collections that you have. The other sections that we have talked about previously in this video can be built up with the same sections. So if you want to have, for example, a section for your unique selling propositions, you can create something similar to this one. If you want to have a section where you showcase your customers' images using your products, you can, for example, use a gallery section, a collage section in here, okay, and showcase the different images. Again, it depends on the theme you are using. The more professional the theme you are using is, the more options you will have, and visually they most probably be better, and they will look, let's say, more luxurious and fancy. Okay, let's go back a little bit to Madwater just to see how they have structured their homepage and to get a little bit more inspired. So we have first the hero image with the headline and sub-headline and the call to action. Then we have the scene. Then we have their lists of products, so they are showing us what do they sell. Then we have in here some talk about their brand story. And if we scroll down in here, more about their brand story, and this is I think a review as well. And in here they have an FAQ for them. This is super important because this is a product that's new and different a little bit, so people might have a lot of questions. So they have put an FAQ in here. And if you scroll down in here, you will see more about their products, and in here photos of people using their products, and this is also to build up trust. And if you scroll down in here, more and more elements to build up trust. And even if you go back to the top in here, you will see that they have the reviews in here. If we go back to our pet store, so as you can see, first we have like the slideshows in here to showcase our different collections. Then in here, like we have this is like our special offer. In here we have like some talk about the brand and what do we stand for. Then we have like some featured collection in here. Here we have like our main collections, 2 collections. Then we have like more talk about the brand, and in here we have like some featured categories because these are our best sellers. We have some reviews, and if you scroll in here, we have an invitation to go to our blog, and you see this cute dog in here. And if you continue scrolling, we have like some photos from Instagram, and this is also important to build up trust. So let's see the final example from Pure Melted Chocolate. And as you can see, we are starting with a headline and a subheadline that clearly reflect what this brand stands for. So organic chocolate, sweetened with unrefined sugar and loads of love. And if you scroll down, here we have a talk about the brand. Here we are showcasing our main collections. We have reviews, then we have our unique selling propositions. And in here we are showing our bestsellers, our most famous products. And in here more talk and the bundles. And in here we have like some points that we wanted to highlight, like the sustainability, the recycled packaging. These are things that are super important for this brand because it's organic and sustainable and so on. And this is a gallery of the photos and more reviews. So as you can see, it's not at all difficult to create this layout for your homepage. You just need to apply everything that you have learned in this video and go over all of these sections one by one, and to make sure that every section that you are adding in there is serving the main purpose of this page. Thank you so much for watching this video and for staying up until the end. I truly appreciate that. And sorry for my voice. I'm sick actually, and I was sick while recording this video, so that's why my voice is not perfect. But anyway, I did my best to explain everything to you and to make sure that this video is going to be helpful while you are building or maybe recreating your Shopify homepage. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section below, and I would be more than happy to help you out. And if you are in the process of building or maybe redesigning your Shopify store, there is this playlist on this YouTube channel that can greatly help you in this process. So don't forget to check it out. Thank you again and stay tuned.